Kardashian financial secrets exposed. We got to talk about this, but before we get into it, hello, my name is Sebastian and I spill pop culture tea videos every single day. So if you're looking for a new messy bestie, you have found me. You guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, the whole vibe feels like we're on a FaceTime call and we're just at a big old sparkly slumber party. It is Sunday and I'm so grateful to end the week with you and to start a brand new week with you tomorrow. And I just really wanted to say thank you all so much for your love, your support, your generosity, and your kindness. I'm so in love with our community and I'm just so grateful for it. So thank you all so much. All right, best friends. So we got to talk about the latest Kardashian articles that are coming out, which I find so incredibly interesting. So do you guys remember the store Dash that the Kardashians had? They had Dash in LA, New York, and Miami. I remember years ago, my husband and I, we actually went to the Miami location and everything was so expensive. And I remember that he bought me a water bottle that said Dash. It was like $3. That's all we could afford. And it was so cool. I held on to that for a very long time because I thought it was so cool. I had something from Dash. I'd been watching their show for so many years. So to go into a store that was theirs, I thought it was pretty cool, you know. But anyways, their Dash store's inventory was always put on Kourtney Kardashian's credit card. And I love to hear how the Kardashians tried to maintain a certain kind of public appearance and persona. Meanwhile, they're over here paying the minimum on their credit card bills. So it says here that while Kim Kardashian's brands now make billions, she reflects on her sometimes rocky business beginnings in her new masterclass, including how she and her sisters Khloe and Kourtney struggled to fill their Dash store with clothing when it opened in 2006. She says, "We were able to get a credit card, first solely in Kourtney's name because she had the best credit." She recalls in the online class, adding that the siblings didn't have a history of being able to pay vendors back on time, and therefore had to pay for everything up front. While the famous trio was able to get a lease for the storefront with a little bit of money inherited from their late father, Robert Kardashian, she says they used to purchase all of the inventory using Kourtney's card. Quote, "We would pay just the minimum every month when the credit card bill would come." Kim recalls, "This is probably the worst advice because you probably should be paying your credit card bill off, but we just didn't have the money." Now, as the founder of several successful companies, Kim is bringing advice to those who might still be struggling with the early stages of entrepreneurship. Her new rules of business masterclass teaches her 10 Kim commandments of brand building, giving a rare glimpse on how she created her empire. "These aren't my suggestions. These are the rules I live by," she says in the introduction, before sharing lessons on how to dominate the social feed and reinvent yourself again and again.
I'm opening up a store, a women's clothing store in Calabasas called Dash with my two sisters for our last name Kardashian. It's in Calabasas right next to the store that my sister and my mom have called Smooch. It's a kids clothing store. It opens next month in May.
Well, the masterclass of it all, so many people were so against it, saying like, what the hell? Why is Kim teaching a masterclass? Her company Skims just valued at $7 billion. That's why, boo, okay? It's not that now I'm seeing some comments like, oh my God, Sebastian is so obsessed with the Kardashians. No, sweetie. I'm just giving you facts. If they were not successful, I would be saying she has no business teaching about business. But because she's so fucking successful, yes, girl, teach, learn. You know what I mean? I want to learn, right? Look, I think that it's so cool to hear about these things because you always got to just remember that you got to fake it till you make it. You know, fake it till you make it. I remember when we first moved to Los Angeles, my husband and I, we lived in a hostel. We shared a bathroom. We shared a mouse rat infested kitchen with crazy, scary characters. Okay. We shared rooms with very interesting people. Okay. Sometimes even dangerous people with armed guns and scary situations we were in, but that's all we could afford for 8 months. And at the end of the day, a lot of us became a little family. And we had to fake it till we made it. You know what I mean? No one knew in our jobs. We both had like 3 jobs each that we were living in these conditions. No one knew, and no one needed to know. What they needed to know is that we were showing up to work, dressed to the nines, never late, and there. For so many months, I could not afford lunch. So my coworkers in the beginning, they were like, where do you go off to in lunch? Because, coworkers and we would be able to have some lunches together. And they started catching up on the fact that I didn't eat lunch. And I would be like, no, I'm just, walking around. And I worked at a mall at this point. And until one of my coworkers said, Sebastian, do you have lunch with you or what? And I just said, no, I don't have lunch. And she started bringing me some lunch and stuff. So, I will forever be grateful for her. Shout out to you, Sarah. So I think the moral of the story is that, you really do got to fake it till you make it. And you got to fake it till you make it with gratitude and with standing on all 10 toes and just being grateful for what you can. And, if you have to eat ramen for 4 months straight, then so be it. My husband and I, we learned how to make all types of crazy recipes with our ramen noodles. And I will forever be most grateful for that beginning because it taught me that you just got to keep on going. So I really admire that they're opening up about this, and of course, not all of us have for an inheritance and stuff. Obviously they did have kind of like a leg up in this, industry. But I will say, I thought that they were a lot richer than they are, telling us. I really thought that they were. I thought that the Kardashians were, literally born millionaires. But to know that they had to put all the inventory of Dash on one credit card goes to show that maybe they did have some money, but they didn't have all the money that we thought they had. And I think it's very interesting to hear these things because Kim Kardashian, after the tape, the whole industry lost respect for her. And then slowly she started building and building and building and building. And her, reality show, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, then her lines, and then her, her perfumes and her this and her that. I mean, it was just, it's a nonstop thing. And 20 years later, Skims is one of the biggest companies ever and just valued at $7 billion. All of the sisters have incredible, business ventures and have really, really broken many records. So when I say that, yeah, they might not be all of our cup of teas, but you can't deny that the results are there. That's why when people, have an issue with them guiding Britney, I'm like, let Britney become a billionaire too, bitch. Okay, 2 of the Kardashians are billionaires. Like, let Britney Spears also become a damn fucking billionaire. And it's not about money. It's not about who is a billionaire, who is not. It's about Britney getting everything she was stolen back. And that's it. So anywho, I think it's really interesting. Now, I'm sure they don't have even to think about paying any kind of minimums. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. I think it'd be really cool if more celebrities would be more open about their humble beginnings. And I say humble, with air quotes, because I know they were very, very fortunate and they grew up with money. But this is interesting to know because I never thought that they had any type of financial struggles. So it's pretty cool. Anywho, love you all so much for watching. Just remember, don't give up. Don't feed into that negativity. Fake it till you make it. Your dreams are worth fighting for. And you got this, girl. Don't ever give up on yourself, okay? Love you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you on the next one. Mwah. Bye.